All right, so for problem number 1, we want to know which of the following fractions is going to be a positive value. So we have a negative and then 4 over 9. We have a 4 over a negative 9. We have a negative 4 over negative 9. And we have a negative 4 over a positive 9. Which one of these is going to result in a positive value? Josiah? C. Okay, that double negatives. Remember, double negatives right here is going to equal a positive value. We have double negatives, it's going to wind up becoming a positive value. Okay, all the rest of them are representations of a negative 4 9ths. All right, problem number 2. If the value of point X is at the value negative 1/2, which value would you need to add to X in order to get to the other points? So these are the values that I could add to my X to get to these other points. Which ones would take me to those other points without knowing what they are, but they are potentially something that could take me to these other points. So again, X is at the value negative 1/2. If I want to get to point A, which one of these values could potentially take me towards point A? Aeon? Negative 3/4. Very good. Negative 3/4 is going to continue moving in the lesser direction. If I add negatives, it doesn't matter if I add negative 1/4 or negative 3/4 or negative 2 1/2, it's going to continue leading me in a further negative direction. Okay? So this I can add. If I add a negative 3/4, it's going to continue taking me in the lesser direction, right? What value might I add? So I use negative 3/4. What value might I add to take me to value B? Which one of these values do you think I can add to take me to value B? Ashir? 1/3. Okay? I don't want to go all the way to 0, so I need to add something that's still smaller than a half. So if I add maybe a 1/3, that'll take me possibly to wherever position B is, because position B is still a negative, not quite at the 0 mark. Okay, what value should I add to X in order to get to C, which is at 0? Which one of these values remaining, if I add it to negative 1/2, will get me to 0? Look at which values are left. I have a 0, I have a 1, and I have a 1/2. Which one do I need to add to negative 1/2 in order to get to 0? Diana? 1/2. Okay, if I add 1/2, remember we talked about it before, if you add a 0 pair, it's going to get me to 0. So the opposite of negative 1/2 is a positive 1/2. Okay? And then what would I need to add to X to get past 0? Which of those values, if I add it to negative 1/2, is going to get me past the 0 mark? And 1. If I add one whole to that negative 1/2, it's going to move me past the 0 mark. If I add one whole, it's going to move me past that 0 mark. Okay, so here's our answers. These are just potentials. They could be any kind of value, but we just wanted to potentially come up with something that would move us in these different directions. Okay? Problem 3, Nick is celebrating his birthday and wants to bring in cupcakes for the class. There are 24 students in his class. If 3/4 of the class want to have vanilla cupcakes, how many vanilla cupcakes should Nick bring in? Anne? 18. What did you do? What operation did you do? Well, that's multi-step, but there's something else that you're supposed to have done instead. Diana? Just multiply 24 times 3/4. The reason for that is we have a fraction of an original. The idea that we have a fraction of, remember when we say fraction of a value, then you're just going to multiply. All you have to do is multiply those values. Aeon, make sure you're paying close attention. Okay? We're going to take 24, We're just going to multiply it by 3 over 4. And that's going to come out to 18. So 18 students are going to want vanilla cupcakes. All right, a pack of flour has 10 cups in it. A serving size is 2/3 of a cup. How many servings does a pack of flour have? How many servings does a pack of flour have? What operation are we going to do? We have all the flour. We have how much each serving size is going to be. Now we need to figure out what the amount of servings are going to be in there. What operation do we need to do? Aeon. Nope. Divide it. Okay, you've got the total. You've got what each little serving is worth. You're going to divide it. We're going to go ahead and divide. So we're going to take 10. We're going to divide it by the serving size. We're going to divide it by that serving size. And what is that going to come out to? If I divide by that serving size, I should get what? Amaya? 15. There are 15 servings. There are 15 servings. Okay? Number 5, Megan has a block of wood that is 18.5 inches long. She's trimming off a piece of wood that's 4 3/5 inches long. How much wood is still there? If I'm trimming off, what operation is trimming off? Brian? Subtraction. So we are just going to go ahead and subtract. So we're going to take 18.5 and we're going to subtract 4 3/5. 18.5 minus 4 3/5. Okay, that should come out to 13 9/10. Not a sir.
Yes.
All right, we're going to line up for lunch. All right, so for today's lesson, what we are focusing on, our learning target, is I can solve contextual word problems that have multiple steps involving all 4 operations of rational numbers. So you're not just adding or just subtracting or just multiplying or just dividing. You're going to have multiple steps and processes that you have to follow in order to be able to solve the problem. Maybe you have to add some stuff together first and then subtract that sum from a total. Maybe you have to multiply something and then add it. So there's just different things. You have to find the different keywords and phrases in here to identify what processes we have to do. So for problem 1, it says by 7 a.m., Henry's coffee shop had served 24 people. 2/3 had regular coffee, 1/8 had decaf, and the remaining ordered a specialty coffee. So I want to know how many customers ordered a specialty coffee. So I know 2/3 had regular, 1/8 had decaf, and the rest of them had specialty coffee. So I need to figure out what fraction had specialty coffee first, and then I can use my multiplication to the 24 people to find out how many had specialty coffee. Or I could do 24 times 2/3 and 24 times 1/8 and find out how many people were there, and then subtract those amounts from 24. There's different things that I could do in order to be able to figure that out. So I'm actually going to go with the second part. I'm going to find out what 2/3 of 24 is going to be first. So I want to figure out the regular coffee. So the fact that it says 2/3 had regular coffee, I'm going to figure out how many people actually had regular coffee. So for regular coffee, I can take the total amount of people that were there, which was 24, and I'm going to multiply it by my 2/3. So if I do 24 times 2/3, that's going to come out to how many people? 24 times 2/3. What is that going to come out to, guys? Aisha? 16. So there are 16 people that had regular coffee. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to find the decaf amount. 1/8 had decaf. So for my decaf coffee, I'm going to take the 24 people and I'm going to multiply it by 1/8. 1/8 of the people who attended the coffee shop had decaf. If I do 24 times 1/8, I'm going to get 3 people. So 3 people had decaf. And now it says that the remaining amount of people had specialty coffee. So I'm going to take how many people there were, 24, and I'm going to subtract my regular coffee, and I'm going to subtract my decaf coffee. And what's remaining is going to be my specialty coffee people. So if I do 24 minus the 16 and minus the 3, Natalia, what do I get? 5. So we have 5 people had specialty coffee. So multiple steps, there's multiple things that are going on in order to be able to solve the problem. We're using multiplication to find out not just the fraction, but how many people ordered specific things, and then taking those people out of the total to find out how many people were left for that specialty coffee. Okay, let's take a look at problem number 2. Problem number 2, it says, Henry purchases coffee creamers in the bulk section at the grocery store. It is priced $2.60 per liter. He purchases 4.5 liters. He receives $3.30 in change. I want to know how much money did he give the cashier. So you know when you go and pay, if you pay with cash, you give them the cash, and they're going to give you change back, because you tend to give them a little bit more. If you don't give them the exact amount, sometimes like, oh, it came out to $15.82, so I'm going to just give them a 20. Then they're going to give me change back, right? So you've got to think through that process. So let's first focus on what we need to do. Before we can figure out how much money we spent, how much money we gave them, we got to figure out how much money it cost us. How are we going to figure out how much the coffee cost us? If it says it's $2.60 per liter and he purchases 4.5 liters, how do I figure out how much he's spending on that coffee creamer? What operation do you think we need to do? Ashir? Multiply it. Okay, I know the cost is $2.60 per liter, and he's purchasing 4.5 liters. So it's $2.60 for 1 liter, then another $2.60 for another liter, and another $2.60 for another liter, and I'm going to keep doing that for 4.5 times. I might as well just multiply. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out the cost. I'm going to figure out my total cost by doing $2.60, and I'm going to multiply it by what I'm purchasing, 4.5. So if we do $2.60 and we multiply it by 4.5, what is that going to come out to, Brian? $11 and what? 70 cents. $11.70. It says 11.7, but guys, there's a 0 behind it. That's not $11.07, it's $11.70. That's the total cost for the creamers. Now, he receives $3.30 back in change. So here's how we figure out our change. If we take our total cost and we add it with the change that's given back to us, then that's going to be equal to the money we gave. Right? We give them money, they take off the total cost, they give us a change. Well, the opposite of that is just to add the total cost and the change together. That equals the money that we gave. We should have given them more than what it cost, right? If we're going to get change back, we gave them more than what the cost was. So that means we're going to add them together. So we're going to take our $11.70 that it cost us. We're going to add it with the change that they gave us. They gave us $3.30. So how much did we originally give the cashier? How much money did we give them? Diana? We gave them $15. We gave them $15. They take the $11.70 off, and $3.30 were given back to us. Okay? All right, let's take a look at problem 3. It's on the next page. Henry is building a bench for his coffee shop. He wants to build a bench for the coffee shop. He begins with an 8-foot board. He then cuts off a piece that measures 3 5/8 feet and another one that measures 1 1/3 feet. What is the length of the remaining board? What are we going to do? He has an 8-foot board. He measures 3 5/8 and cuts it off. Then he cuts off another 1 1/3 feet. What operation are they doing, Amaya? Huh? Not division. Camille? Subtraction. If he's cutting it off, right? He's cutting off. That means he's subtracting. He's just subtracting twice. Okay? It could be the same operation multiple times. That's still a multi-step problem. You're taking a total, you're subtracting or cutting off 3 5/8, and then you're going to subtract another 1 1/3 off of that new value. Okay? So we've got our 8-foot board. We're going to subtract 3 5/8, and then we're going to subtract 1 1/3. So we do 8 minus 3 5/8 minus 1 1/3. Okay, that's going to give us 73/24, but we got to convert it. Don't forget to convert it into the mixed number. What is it, Ashir? 3 1/24. Good. So there's 3 1/24 feet remaining after he's cut off the wood that he's going to use for the bench. This is how much is left. Okay, I want you guys to try number 4 on your own. Jacob is trying to earn some money for a car, so he decides to start a lawn service. He spends $435.82 on his equipment to work on people's yards. Then he starts mowing 32 yards for $74.55 each yard. He plans to save 5/7 of the profit for a car. How much money is he going to save towards his car? Okay, you're going to work that one out on your own. All right, let's go over how to do this. So here we talk about money that he's going to spend. He's going to purchase some items for his yard service. Then he's going to mow 32 yards for $74.55 each yard. And then he's going to save 5/7 of his profit in order to be able to put it towards the purchase of a car. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how much money he's made. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that $32 or 32 yards that he's mowing at $74.55 for each yard, and what am I going to do with that? What operation is that going to be? Brian? Multiplication. Okay, so this is how much he earns. How much he earns, we are going to take the 32 yards that he mows. We're going to multiply it by the cost that he charges them for each yard, $74.55. Okay, so we're going to do $74.55, and we're going to multiply it by 32, and he's going to make $2,385.60. That's how much money he's going to earn. Is that his profit? No. That's not his profit. Why is that not his profit? Angel, what else do we have to do? He bought equipment, so he has to pay that equipment off, doesn't he? He has to pay for that equipment. So we are going to actually take that away. He spent $435.82 on the equipment. So now we're going to take his earnings, that $2,385.60, and we're going to subtract his spending, his $435.82. Okay, so subtract $435.82. And here is his profit. This is how much money he's made. His profit is $1,949.78. Is all of that going towards the car? No. That is not all going towards the car. In fact, only 5/7 is going to go towards the car. So what we need to do now is we're going to take our profit and we're going to multiply it by 5/7. 5/7 of the profit. That keyword of, you are going to multiply. So we're going to take our profit, which was that $1,949.78, and we're going to multiply it by the 5/7. And that's how much is going to go towards his car savings. How much is going towards his car, Ashir? Not quite. If you take $1,949.78 and multiply it by 5/7, what is it going to come out to, Angel? Good. $1,392. Is that what you said? Oh, I thought you said 4,000. Okay. All right. $1,392.70. That's his car savings. That's your answer. That's going to be your answer there. Okay? Your assignment for today is on Delta Math. So go ahead and get logged in. Get on to Delta Math, please.